Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another video here on the channel. This is a What I'm Reading Right Now video. It is the penultimate What I'm Reading Right Now video until the end of the year. I'll be honest with you, not 100% sure when next week's going to happen because I am going to be at Christmas time, but we'll see how it works. So yes, we're going to be talking about what I have been reading, what I'm currently reading, and what I'm going to be reading next. You may recall last week, if you watched last week's video, or if not, you can go back and watch it now. I was pretty burned out, and I would say that's still very much the case, but I am now off work for, I think, 13 days. Not 13 working days, but 13 days, which is the longest break I've had in probably since last Christmas, and I'm so excited to just take some time and relax. But before that, today is my filming day. I'm going to try and film as much as I can, with the possible exception of some animals videos. So I haven't been reading very much because I've still been a little bit in that burned out headspace, but actually, yesterday I finished 4 things. So they were all very short, so I think I'm gonna call this like short, cozy, quick reads to get you through to the end of the year, perhaps, something along those lines. Let's jump right in with what I have been reading. So I finished The Tea Dragon Society, which I'm reading for an upcoming project. This is a graphic novel. There are, I believe, 3 or 4 of them. I've only read the first one, and it is about a girl who is learning to be a blacksmith, and she discovers this place where there are tea dragons, and the little dragons that grow tea out of their like spines, and their antlers are tea leaves, and it's very cute and wholesome and very nice and cozy. So whoever recommended that to me, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I will be reading the future books. It was exactly what I needed first thing in the morning, where I really honestly just needed a win. I just needed a book that I could finish quickly and enjoy, and I did, and the art is beautiful, and yeah, I had a good time. Would recommend. I think if you've got younger people in your life, it would also make a really nice gift. So if you're last minute Christmas shopping, very last minute Christmas shopping, this might be a go for you. After that, I continued my Brandon Sanderson project. I read Sixth of the Dusk, which is a short story from the Arcanum Unbounded collection. I thought this was fine. I think I'm really coming out on not loving Brandon Sanderson's short fiction, and I can't really pin down why yet, which is part of why I'm doing this whole project. But I thought it was like perfectly good and interesting world. I think that we could get into Brandon Sanderson writing a world inspired by Polynesian culture a little bit, but perhaps this isn't the place. I don't know, I just feel like so much of Brandon Sanderson, for me, the enjoyment of it is the setup and then the knockdown, and there isn't really time to do that in these. So it always feels like a beginning, and it never feels like a short story that's really rounded off in a way that I would particularly enjoy. And I think that's why I'm slightly more hopeful for some of the novellas that are coming up in the future, where they're like 300 pages, so it's still like a book, whereas I feel like cramming Brandon Sanderson down into, say, 80 pages isn't as successful. However, it is now read. I didn't hate it. It's just one of those things. I'm not loving his short fiction as much as I'm loving his long form stuff. After that, I flitted back to audio. I was reading Serafina. I realised I wasn't going to finish it before the library hold ran out, so I gave up. I've read it multiple times before. I will read it again in the future. I feel like every other week I say I need to say goodbye to the plan to reread Serafina. It's not happening. But instead I picked up A Spindle Splintered by Alexi Harrow. Yes. This is a novella. It is about a girl who is living with a chronic condition, or a terminal condition I should say, and she is obsessed with the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale and essentially gets sucked into a version of that fairy tale. I thought this was good. I don't always love modern character in fairy tale world. I think just something about it doesn't always click with me. This I thought was one of the more enjoyable instances of that, and I think it's partly because there was a connection to the real world throughout the whole thing. She has a phone on her. Don't ask me how it worked. The science of it is very much just ignore the science of this for a moment, let me tell you a story. I thought it was really enjoyable ending. I really well-paced, well-thought-out novella. It felt like it had just the right amount of stuff in it, and I have actually picked up the start of the sequel, which is A Mirror Mended, but I'm very much only in the early days of that, so I think I'll try and talk about the two together after I hit myself in the face later. And the last thing I finished was some reading sprints that Angela was running for patrons. Me, Evie and Angela hung out for a little while. It was absolutely lovely, and I did finish Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is being pitched as a, I think, light academia kind of thing, is my understanding of it, and in some ways, I liked it. In fact, I think it has a lot of potential. This is the thing. There's another book due in this series at least, and I think that I will read another book at this. However, there's a strong romance plot in this, and I wasn't on board with who the love interest was from the beginning. I got around to him in the end, but it was a little bit, you know, where the balance of grumpy people to lovers, they're just a bit too grumpy, and I'm like, I haven't got back yet. Don't take me there. That was how I felt about this one. I'm just going to put it down because I'm trying to drink coffee at the same time. I thought that the fairy elements were interesting. I liked the idea of a person studying fairies and going around and trying to compile this encyclopedia. I liked the idea of having an adventure almost in a Lady Trent kind of way of this is one adventure of my studies. I thought that was good. I think I got a little bit lost in the prose a little bit, especially towards the middle. It felt like things happened very quickly and the pacing was a little bit weird and I didn't necessarily gel with it as much as I wanted to. And I think part of the problem is the whole time I was reading it, I was like, well, if I wanted this scholar in a fantasy world romance, I could just read Lady Trent, and honestly I'd like to be reading Lady Trent again. But maybe that's my preference for dragons over fae. Perhaps. As I say, I would read another book of this, and I think possibly this might be a timing thing, and on a reread in the future where I'm more in the space for slightly longer form stuff, I would have a better time with it. We'll see. We'll see when the sequel comes out. I'm not saying it's bad. I think this is a book for a particular type of person, and right now I'm not that person. Right this moment. I'm not there. I mentioned Mirror Mended. That's the only thing I think I'm currently reading. I'm trying not to pick up too many things at the moment because I just know I'm not going to finish them. So in the future, I have to finish Animorphs 46 this week, which may have to be Friday, probably. And then coming up in the future, I've basically stripped my TBR way back down, which patrons will know because they get the full list. But I've stripped it all the way back to just the things that are for projects or that are priorities, so review copies or things I need to read for upcoming videos. So I've still got Words of Radiance. I need to read the first half of that before the end of the year. I have the audiobook of that lined up. I'm ready. We've got some car journeys coming up. I'm going to sit and enjoy it. I have a review copy of Venom Dark and Sweet, which is the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I'm slightly nervous of the YA fantasy duology sequel problem that often crops up, but hey, I can believe I really liked the first one. We'll see how the second one does. And then I have 2 rereads. I have Legends and Lattes, which I'm rereading for our current project, and I have Lacey Roops and Then Him the Flood, which is a poetry collection, which I'm rereading for Overbooked because I decided it deserved its own Overbooked video. Just to summarise, I'm not finishing Salvation's Fire before the end of the year. I'm not finishing... There's a Nedia Corafor book that I'm not going to be reading. There's Bloodhound and Mastiff by Tamara Pierce. I bumped into next year, in fact quite late in next year, just because I'm trying to be sensible. I really hoped I could finish my TBR early next year, but it's not happening, and that's okay. Well, I have approximately 8 videos to film today, so when you see this face a whole bunch of times, please don't comment on it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm bulk filming. It's great. So for that reason, I'd better sign off before we waffle on for far too long. What have you been reading? What have you been up to? Let me know down in the comments below. If you're celebrating, I hope you have a very happy holidays, and I will probably see you next week. We'll see how we go. While you're down there commenting all the things that you're up to, please do, if you haven't already, subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on social media. Come hang out on Discord where we have chill chats about books. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all the ghosts who haunt me over on Patreon. If you would like to join their number and get early access to videos, live streams and bonus content, click the link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. So for that reason, I better sign off. I hope you appreciate